Hello friends, today I am going to tell you the easiest way to get the license. Most of us have our children at home who want to get the driving license, and then there is a kind of a tension in the family as to how the driving license will be achieved, whether it's through a broker or the child will be able to perform on the field or not. So there are certain simple tricks which I am going to share with you, which if you follow, I am sure your child would be able to pass the driving test and will be able to get the license. Procedure to get the license. Now the first step begins with getting the learner license. Now there are certain portals where you can go and you can even apply for the date on which you want your child or any member of your home to apply for the learner license. So once you fill the form, you will have to give your ID and also certain proofs, photograph, everything, you upload it, and then once it's done, then you will select the date on which the test has to be given, and on the designated date you will reach the RTO office and you will give the test, which will be on the computer. So the test would be basically be based on the traffic rules and regulations, but here the tip number 1 is be prepared to get the difficult questions there. Don't think that the traffic rules are going to be as simple as parking, no parking, slope, school or something like that. So if you have been driving on your own, you have been learning to drive on your own, you have to also go through the material which tells you about the different rules and regulations. And if you are in the driving school, then the driving school would be automatically be giving you a booklet which contains all the rules and regulations of Indian roads. So go through them nicely, go through them at least 4 to 5 times and then go and attempt the test, because this is the computer based test, and if you go wrong you are failed. So no one would be able to qualify you for the test. So once you qualify this test, then by the end of the day, suppose you're giving the test in the morning, by the end of the day you'll be getting the result, and then you will be getting the learner license also online. You can get the photocopy of the license online itself, and after you get the learner license you get 6 months period to enhance your skill. So in that 6 months period you can learn to drive, and within the 6 months period you have to apply for the permanent license. So supposing that you will have learned the learn to drive the car, and then you go for the permanent license, and then what is it which you are going to expect in the permanent license, that I am going to tell you. So there will be 2 tests for the permanent license, and both would be the driving test. One would be based on the reverse driving and other would be based on the forward driving. So forward driving test is quite easy. If you have learned to drive, then you can easily qualify it, but the main hurdle comes with the reverse driving test, which is called the H test. Now what to do and what not to do when you go for the test, I'll tell you this. So once you apply for the test, now there will be a date when you plan to go, and the day you plan to go, the first step is that try to reach the spot much ahead of the time. So suppose you wish to go for the test on Monday, and if you are supposed to, the test is going to start at 10 o'clock, then reach there by 9:15. And it is not there because there might be a possibility that there's a lot of crowd, there's a lot of them who want to go for the test. That is one reason. And second reason is that once you reach early for the test, then reaching early would give you sufficient time to cool yourself, and once you are mentally stable, you would be able to give your test well. So first step is this. Now coming to the second. The second tip is, I'm asking you to go early, but then at the same time, you don't have to be the first in the line. You have to be somewhere in 6, 7, 8, somewhere there in the line. Now you will think why. The reason for that is that once you're in the waiting line, then you will get sufficient time to look at others who are doing the test, who are giving the test, and you can see what are the things which are going wrong with them, or who is the one who is qualifying the test, and you can see what they did, and accordingly you can also frame your plan and you can think what to do when your number comes for the test. Now third tip. By the time you are in the waiting line, you ensure that you're wearing the belt, because most of the time we forget it because we think that we have to wear the belt only when we are on road. But this is the test for getting the license, and they're going to watch whether you wear the belt or not. So don't forget to wear the belt. And now comes the fourth tip. Now, fourth tip is that by the time you are waiting, you also set your rear mirror and also the side mirror, because those mirrors are going to help you a lot when you are giving the reverse edge test. So these are the things which you have followed. Once you have followed, supposedly your turn comes. Now, what can you expect when you have to do your test? So now I'm just going to give you the procedure, what would be done in edge test and what would be done in aid test. But I am going to give you the trick and the tip to pass the test at the end of the video. Now, what you have to do is, once you come here, you can you see this? This is the edge shape. This is the edge shape, so that is why it is called the edge test. And this is the reverse driving test. So you enter from here, but then you cross this. You have to start with the forward driving, right? So you start with the forward driving and you come till the end of the arm. Now once you come here, now here your test actually begins. So now you will do the reverse driving. Doing reverse itself, you will come to this bridge of the edge, and doing reverse itself, you will go to the lower arm of the edge, and then with the forward driving, you will go to the upper arm of the edge, and then doing the reverse again, you will go towards the center of the edge, and then to the bridge of the edge, and then to the lower arm of the edge, and then forward driving and exit. Right? I'll tell you once again. So you enter, forward, reverse, 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 forward, reverse, 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 forward and exit. Okay? The test is hardly for 3 to 4 minutes, but then that's going to check your skill, because don't expect a kind of a concrete path of edge. Most of the RTOs have a kind of a barren land where they make the edge using the cones and the plastic structures. So when you are giving the test, the main thing is to see that if your vehicle is going to touch any of these structures, and if they are going to shake or if they are going to fall, you will be immediately disqualified from the test. So ensure that once you are driving, you have to be really away from these structures. Okay? And now here your edge test is over. I'll tell you how to qualify the test at the end of the, almost at the end of the video. So now you come outside, and then this is called the slope test. Now basically the slope test is to see your ability, whether you can stay on the slope for some time, because if they expect that once you started driving you can be on the hill, or maybe you have to go for the parking in the mall, then you should be able to hold your vehicle in one place in the slope test. So you have to climb up the slope, and then you have to hold your vehicle in the slope itself for around half minute or 1 minute, and once you hold, you have to go down the slope, and once you go down the slope, then you will have to enter the aid test. Now this aid test is pretty simple test. If you have been learning to drive, you will be able to 100% qualify the test. So it is usually done by everyone qualifies it. But then what you can expect in the test, I'll tell you. You will have to go here, make a half circle, make a full circle, cross, make a full circle and exit. I'll tell you once again. Come here, make a half circle, make a full circle, make a full circle and exit. But then don't expect that with the exit your driving test ends, because now comes the thing is that after the exit you have to go and park your vehicle, right? And after you park your vehicle, once you're parking the vehicle, there the people are going to see whether you know how to park your vehicle well or not. So till that time you are under the observation. So park your vehicle well. Now one more thing, once you're coming for the test, always remember to bring all the files which you got, when you go for the learner license, there's a file which they make for you. So that learner license file you have to bring along with you, and when you come here, they'll be giving you a small chit. On the small chit, you have to enter on your own your name, the registration number of your vehicle, and on just below that, it will be written whether you have qualified the test or not qualified the test. So that chit would be stapled on your file, and once you are going for the test, that the whole file would be handed over to the officer in charge. So this has to be done. Now here comes now what to do so that you qualify the test. That is very important, and that is the tip which I am going to share with you. Now that tip is, I'll show you by just clearing this so that you'll be able to visualize it more as to what you have to do. I'll just clear the path and I'll show you what you have to do so that you qualify the test flawlessly, and I assure you that these tips are going to take you a long way and you will be able to qualify the test. So the tip here is only one which you have to follow throughout your test, and that is, if supposingly I don't have young children at home, so I couldn't manage with a car. I'm just making use of this. Consider this as your car. Okay. Now here you enter. So your driving seat is going to be here. So once your driving seat, you have to only ensure one thing, that when you are going into this track, there should be minimum distance on the side of the driver's seat. That means on this side, you will leave very less space, and on this side, you will leave major space. That means you will not go this side. You will not be in the center. You will be only aligned, and you will leave minimum space towards the driver's side. So once you come here, you will automatically go here. You will move here. You will come back. This is why, because if you are following this, once you are making this curve, once you're going back, you are not going to hit this, you're not going to hit that, if you follow this trick. And then you have to move this way, because driver is sitting here, so here minimum distance, and this here maximum distance. So here you go, and then you have to go down. So again, driver is here, so you're leaving minimum place here. You go here, and then you go up, and then again you go down, and then again you go like this, and you go like this, and then you go like this and come back. If you follow this trick of leaving the minimum space towards the driver's side, 100% you are going to qualify this test. So wishing you a very, very safe journey, safe driving, and I'm sure you'll get the license with the flying colors. So best of luck.